Humans are social animals. When doing something with a group or a partner, eventually you'll need to give feedback. Feedback is crucial. Humans are not born knowing everything. It's not necessary to know everything, but you know what is necessary? To be open to improvement, because there's always room to be a little bit better. When someone is offering good feedback, it's because they trust that you can grow together and become a better, stronger team. Maybe you have a colleague, a friend, or a classmate you need to give feedback to. How do you do it in a way that is constructive, trusting, and helps everybody improve? Welcome to Further Records. I'm Forrest. Do you want extra material? Check out our YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram accounts. The first thing to keep in mind is that a feedback conversation is not supposed to be attacking. Creating a good environment for this chat is important so that the receptor does not feel bad about what they are doing. One investigator identified two different types of feedback: positive and constructive. Positive feedback talks about what we're doing right. It's a recognition of the work we're doing, and it's supposed to be gratifying. Constructive feedback talks about the things we can improve. It's important not to take this feedback personally and try to focus on the goals we can make from this feedback. So, how do we create a good feedback environment? First, prepare the recipient for feedback. Indicate what the chat will be about and ask the person if they are ready to discuss the situation. Consider using phrases like, "I'd like to give you some feedback about this," and mention specific behaviors. Continue with, "When are you available to have a chat?" and schedule the meeting. If you cannot be flexible with the time, tell them you would like to have a chat about the situation, so at least they can mentally prepare. When giving feedback, be like a coach. Use phrases like, "I understand this may be difficult," and "I notice there are areas for improvement." Always clarify that the conversation is for growth, development, and working together effectively. Allow them space to respond before giving them orders on what to do. Feedback should be focused on behaviors, not the person. When working as a team in any kind of relationship, it's important to not accuse the person of doing things wrong, but state a need. So don't say, "You did this incorrectly." Say, "You have this behavior, and this is how it impacts our relationship." Now that you know there are two kinds of feedback, add both types to the conversation. It's upsetting to only hear about what you're doing wrong. Talking about the strengths that the person has might make them feel appreciated and like their growth is important to you. These conversations should be impactful, which means that the feedback should be meaningful. But what does it mean for feedback to be meaningful? It means that the person receiving the feedback knows that they are important. Here's how to do that. In a job space, 80% of workers who get frequent feedback feel more energized doing work. That means it's important to have these conversations quickly and frequently. Fast feedback energizes teams and allows them to make changes quickly. When the things to change are small, it's easier to correct. Meaningful feedback is frequent. Feedback should be specially made for the person who is listening to it and to specific situations. Being vague and telling your teammate you need to do better is horrible and doesn't inform what must be done for improvement. Speak about the specific contributions of the person and the exact behaviors and their impact. Meaningful feedback is focused. Focusing on past negative behaviors can be demotivating for the person who is listening. The idea of feedback is that the behaviors can be improved so that everyone can move forward with a good relationship in the future. It's about maintaining a relationship for a long time and everyone doing their best. Meaningful feedback is future-oriented. Those are the 3 pillars of meaningful feedback: frequent, focused, and future-oriented. When working together towards a common goal, having feedback every few weeks makes contributions easier to recognize, which allows everyone to reach goals together. This is the best way to keep a relationship with the best people. Slow, meaningless feedback will make a person feel ignored, which is why quick and meaningful feedback is important. At the end of the conversation, say these 2 phrases. Is there anything I can do to help you develop in this area? And if there's anything you need, remember we can always have a private chat. It's important to accompany your teammate because everybody has made mistakes before. If you're getting feedback about some of your behaviors, be sure to be open. If you're receiving feedback, it's because the person speaking to you believes you can do better. If they are following the tips in this episode, then you don't have to worry. Keep an open mind and consider which points you can improve. Some phrases that are good for these situations are, I understand how my behaviors have been affecting this relationship, and I will work to correct them. And, thank you very much for the feedback. I'm grateful for this opportunity to develop my skills. And for everybody in this conversation, be sure to follow up. Remember, good feedback is frequent, so make sure everybody is on the same page. Now that you know how to give and get feedback in an effective way, you can stay relaxed knowing everybody is working and improving together. You've been listening to Further Records. For more tips about the workplace or relationships, check out our Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube channels. Here's some vocabulary we used in this episode. Rather than, a phrase used to indicate preference between 2 things. Recipient, someone who receives something. Keep in mind, a phrase that means remember this. Future-oriented, a type of thinking which focuses on the future. Improve, to make things better. It's different to say. This phrase introduces a comparison. Vague, of uncertain, indefinite, or unclear meaning. Grow, the process of increasing in amount, value, or importance. If you'd like to know about a certain topic, send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time.